And welcome to Talk Story, the longest running talk show on Maui. I think someone counted it up. I'm over 10,500 shows and counting. And I am so happy to have in the studio two very, very busy people. Amanda Hall, PR marketing for the Millhouse Restaurant, and also Kane Carbonneau, who's food and beverage. And I mean, these people are so busy. It's my new wonderful favorite place to go right up the street here. And it's such a wonderful place to not only have fine dining, but the dining experience. Wonderful food, fantastic service, and one of the most beautiful settings you can ever imagine. Just absolutely fabulous views. It's just like it's like paradise. You look up into the hills, you see the blue sky clouds, you see the pond, you see the green grass, see all the fresh vegetables and things growing out there. It's wonderful. So you've got a big event coming up this coming Friday, and I just love the kind of event you're putting on. You come up with really creative ideas. How do you do these creative ideas, like this Uncorked and Unplugged event happening on Friday?
Well, this one, we don't come up with these. They always fall into our laps. We're really lucky that way. There's a winemaker that we all really admire, myself and the staff, named Fred Scherer. And we sell many of his wines. They're represented on our list. And this past year at the Kapalua Wine Festival, I learned that he plays guitar. And I also got a chance to meet him for the first time then. He's a very down-to-earth, very humble guy. And for how talented he is, it's even more impressive at how humble he is. And with just such a
Which winery is he with?
So he has his own winery, Fred Scherer Winery.
In Napa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually in Sonoma, California.
Oh, Sonoma.
Yeah.
That's where I lived for 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had a radio station there. I lived there for 10 years. And my heart was just broken when I saw the fires that were happening there. My God, it was just awful this year. The house I lived in for 10 years completely burned to the ground and everything. And so many of my friends lost their homes and businesses. And it was just, So, I hope his winery was okay in that fire.
It was. Yeah,
good.
It was. But I know that not everybody was that lucky.
Yeah.
So definitely everybody's hearts go out to that.
Yeah.
People, I think, also ask a lot, what can you do for people who were devastated by those fires? And the answer is drink more wine.
I like that answer.
Buy their wines. Help them out.
Absolutely true, because a lot of people aren't even visiting there. It's such a big tourist destination, and people aren't going. They're going to Napa, but they're not going to Sonoma. So that's great to hear that he's coming out. Sonoma wines are fabulous. I really like them. And the winemakers are, just like you said, the ones I did a lot of work with and dealt with and talked with on a regular basis, they're just wonderful people.
Yeah, Fred really is a farmer.
Yes.
Before he's a winemaker, and he'll be the first to tell you that wines are made in the field, not in the winery.
It's true.
And that his wines are meant to be a representation of the terroir or the place that they were grown, and not necessarily of his winemaking skills. Mm-hmm. So I think it's his, profound respect for the land and that understanding that, just hand in hand with his personality. He's very laid back, super cool guy. And so I found out he plays guitar. Mm-hmm. Also, meanwhile, throughout this last year, I'd been developing a relationship, getting to know Michael Jordan, who is a master sommelier.
Yes.
We should just all preface and get it out in the open. It is not the basketball player.
Not the NBA player.
Not the NBA player.
But I tell you, that's another.
Although that would be a great event, too.
It would be. You should have the two Michaels together, and I'm sure you'd enjoy meeting the other Michael. But no, and he's also Sonoma County Winery.
Yes.
He?
Well,
Yeah.
and he makes, he makes two wines, and he travels all over the place.
I've met him before. He's done stuff here in Maui before.
Yes, he's a big supporter of the culinary scene in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. Him and Fred are actually in Oahu right now, seeing some people there and hosting some dinners over there. And then they're going to be here on this Friday at the Millhouse Restaurant at Maui Chef's Table. We're going to do a wine dinner with them, and they are the live music. So they're going to jam on their guitars together, talk about the wines. We're going to be, showing their wines and pairing those with 9 courses of food by Executive Chef Jeff Scheer.
9 courses of food. Now, I mean, 4 courses, 5 courses, 6 courses. I've never done a 9-course dinner. How do you do a 9-course dinner?
Well, they're all tasting formats. So there's going to be much smaller bites. So you'll get each bite where you'll have about 4 to 5 bites per. You definitely don't leave hungry. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about that. You will leave full, and especially with the wonderful pairings that these wonderful people have come up with to match the food that Jeff will be putting out that night. You'll all leave very happy. There's no doubt about that. There won't be a single starving person in the audience. But it is going to be a lot of food. It's going to be a good bit of wine. And a lot of fun and a lot of great music. So it's
it sounds like the kind of thing you do in someone's living room.
Exactly.
Does it sound like if you're going to go to a special dinner at someone's house, they'd bring out the wines, they'd bring out the taste, they'd bring out the guitars afterwards, and that's the kind of thing that sounds like an intimate experience with these winemakers.
It is. Well, a lot of times, as Chef Jeff will always say, is by the end of the night, it's more like a big party. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's got to know each other, and everybody's had lots of good food and good drink. And on this special occasion, great music to match it all.
Wow! And they haven't done an event here at the Mill House before, have they?
Not at the Mill House together. Mm-hmm. Not there together.
So that's exciting, and for Chef Jeff, he must be thrilled to be able to work with them as well.
He's very excited. He always loves to do these wine pairing dinners. He likes to really, taste all the wines ahead of time to really make sure that the pairings go as smoothly as possible for both mine and Amanda's end as well as his. And he does really look forward to these because it's an opportunity for everybody to taste wines that we haven't actually tasted maybe before.
Yeah.
And pair them with foods that, as you know of us, we're very innovative, that we might not have ever tasted before.
Well, on top of that, everyone, I hope you've had a chance to check out the Mill House, but this is very, very wonderfully fresh from the grounds, farm to table, literally. So you're getting the most wonderful ingredients that are so full of wonderful nutrients right here on Maui in those sun-kissed fields, right there behind the restaurant. So you're having that chance to do that with lovely wines. Now, what an amazing opportunity and experience. These chefs' tables have really totally taken off, haven't they?
They have. We are sold out every week. We typically do them on Saturdays once a week, and they sell out every week way in advance. We do, like I said, still have a few tickets available for this Friday's
This
Chef's
Friday,
Table.
because it's not a Saturday
It's
event,
not a
it's
typical
Friday.
day.
Yeah.
So we do still have some tickets available, and we hope to see as many people there as possible.
Well, there's only, as you said, a few tickets left, and this is one of those experiential dining gourmet events. So people really, really, really need to call and make reservations because otherwise it's going to be completely sold out by Friday. So they should call really right away, shouldn't they?
Right. At the restaurant, 270-0333.
270-0333. In case you're driving, I'll repeat it, 270-0333. That's for this Friday, Uncorked, Unplugged, 9-course pairing with wines from Master Sommelier Michael Jordan and winemaker Fred Scheer, and special plates with that by Chef Jeff Scheer. He's getting quite a reputation, isn't he?
He is.
The more I'm talking to people are going, oh, my gosh, that chef is amazing, and he's so good-looking. They always say that's women I'm talking to. They say, he's so good-looking. Have you seen him? My gosh. But it's wonderful, and it's that creative spirit that allows you to not just – it's so easy when you're doing a lot of work in a restaurant to just do the same thing, just to go by the menu and do the thing, and in no ways people like it. But to go outside the box and to do something creative, which you do on a regular basis over there, that's the innovative inspiration that kind of is exciting, that has that spirit of what I love about the Mill House.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that what's happened in the last year that's taken it a step further is Jeff's talent has attracted the talent of several other sous chefs that we have at the Mill House that have also really like grown and blossomed there, and each week they get to go to chef's table and show off, flex their muscles, and put that, you know, that creativity to good work for people
to shine.
Yeah.
To really shine. I was talking to you because I now go there and I love it, and of course it's so popular during special events. You were super busy over the holidays, but on top of that, I mean, Valentine's Day is February 14th, folks. It's weird. It's on a Wednesday always kind of sometime Wednesday. But Wednesday's midweek, so it's kind of a different time. It's not like it's a whole weekend or something. So, but you're already getting bookings for Valentine's Day and getting close to being full for Valentine's Day, which is unheard of this far out.
We are. We got quite a few now. We will still, of course, have some in the near future. But we do always encourage everybody to book as far in advance as possible, especially for those big special holidays like that. And we have such a wonderful spot for a nice romantic dinner that it's really hard to beat when that sunset's coming down over the Waikapu Valley. It is really hard to beat that.
And, on top of that, you want to go to a place where you know it's going to be a good experience and there's the consistency. I've been there many, many times. Always a wonderful meal. Never like anything bad. You don't want to go on your special night out for Valentine's Day and have a situation where it's like, oh, my gosh, I thought this was going to be special and it's not so special, So it's really nice to know that it's going to be a special experience.
Guest experience is our biggest thing here.
It's interesting because you make sure you make people feel comfortable and not rushed, and that there's a presence of someone there to help them, whatever. But there's something about that spot that just makes you want to sit and talk and spend time over your meal. I don't know what it is.
I'm sure it's not the gorgeous valley view that's right in front and the beautiful sunshine.
I think it's that, and it's also just savoring the meal.
Yeah.
I mean, the meal becomes
Absolutely.
like part of the conversation of the dinner as well. A lot of people want to taste the other person's dish and see what it's like,
That's it.
And the chef is always trying some new interesting things as well, right?
Right. Always new flavors and interesting combinations to try and share amongst the table.
Yeah. I mean, so that's it's almost like you are going out to an event when you're going to dinner. And for the Uncorked and Unplugged event this Friday, it definitely is an event, because how many times do you go to a 9-course meal with two great winemakers, and master sommelier Michael Jordan and winemaker Fred Gier? Very rarely does that happen. I've never heard of it happening where you do that and then you get to hear the music and entertained by them as well.
Right. Wine is such a, to some people it's really intimidating, and it can get a reputation for being kind of stuffy or snobby.
Be, yes.
These guys could not be more the opposite.
It's true.
Like Michael sometimes even has referred to himself as, the common man sommelier, because to them, it's about good food, good wine, good company. And
it's their passion.
It is their passion, but also they just want to eschew any kind of misconceptions or attitude that surrounds, wine or winemaking.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, Fred is really a farmer at heart.
Yeah.
And Michael he has an interesting history. He worked for the Walt Disney Corporation for a long time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, as one of their beverage directors.
So
he has a really fun personality. He has a focus on just making sure that you are having a good time, that you're enjoying yourself.
Uh-huh.
And now he has a job where he works with Jackson Family Wines. So he helps represent a portfolio of different winemakers throughout California,
Wow.
Washington, and Oregon. And he's, traveling around the country and the world now talking about these wineries and helping them kind of find their voice. And a lot of the wines that he sells are not very expensive. They're not hard to, understand. They're super drinkable, really food friendly. And same with the wines that he makes out of Paso Robles. So
is that just above Santa Barbara there?
Yeah, in Central California. So he's kind of all over the place doing a lot of cool things. And I think these two guys just want people to come out and kick back, have a good time. We always say at Maui Chef's Table that it can tend to like devolve or evolve into a big dinner party. You know, people sit communally at tables and they get up and they see the chefs and it's interactive. The chefs are cooking right in front of them in the room. So I think to have the winemaker who made your wine there in the room and the chef who's cooking your food there in the room with you.
How do now? That's on the side. It's not the mill house. It's the chef's tables to the left and kind of a little back, just by the little waterfall water feature back there.
Yeah, really cool
To the left
outdoor
of the
pavilion we have.
How do you set it up for the chef? How does chef cook back there?
So we do have equipment that we put out there for each time. So they actually cook right there in front of you. We have grills, flat top, or grills, ranges, and all that, ovens. That the chefs are able to execute everything right there
in the back.
front of everybody.
See, I thought it was maybe done in the kitchen then brought out, but I didn't realize it was
We
done
do some
right
of the
there.
prep. We do some of the prep in the kitchen. Now, execution-wise does come out into the chef's table so everybody can see exactly what's going on, and they can ask as many questions as they want. You know, it's always encouraged for our guests to get out of their seats. Don't just stay in your seats. Get out of your seats. Come up to the chef's table. Ask them questions. Take pictures. Have fun with them.
Interesting.
Don't be shy. You know, that's one of our biggest things is we don't want anybody to feel shy or feel overwhelmed or intimidated. So ask every question you possibly can. They're there to answer everything you have.
Well, and especially on something like this, it's not like you're going to do a couple dinners a night. This is a one event thing with 9 courses and 9 wines and the entertainment. You get there about what time? What time does it start?
It starts right at 6 o'clock, so we do ask our guests to be there around 5:30.
Oh, really?
To make sure everybody's in the seats. We can get drinks going before, well, in this
Wow.
case, the wine pairings getting ready. But we do ask everybody to be no later than 6 is when we like to start it up.
Okay, and then it goes till about?
About 9:30ish.
Wow, so it is a full night of
It is.
entertainment.
It is.
And experiential.
That's it.
Entertainment. How much does it cost?
This one's going to be $250 for the Friday's dinner, and that includes the food and the wine pairings themselves. Typically, the chef's table costs $150 for the Saturday night chef's tables that we offer.
And do you have regulars that come make a point of coming every time you do that?
You know, it's so fun. We're beginning to see, well, with Chef's Table, we see yearly regulars, people who will come back once a year, either for a special occasion or for their yearly visit to Maui. And it's really fun because we actually, another winemaker recently came to Maui Chef's Table for the 3rd time, not to host it, just to attend.
yeah.
And the first time he was seated at Chef's Table, he became such close friends, him and his wife, with the people they were seated with that they didn't know before that night, that the other couple ended up visiting them in California. And then the next year they came back to Maui together and came to Maui Chef's Table together.
Wow.
And so they actually were like, people make friends at Maui Chef's Table and they build like these bonds. And then they've actually come back together to Maui Chef's Table. It's awesome.
That is amazing. That's the kind of thing that happens when you go on a cruise or when you go
Yeah,
traveling.
exactly.
And it's happening right there in your backyard. Well, you know, it's interesting now because the mill house was totally done over. I probably should mention, I think in all the time we've been talking, I didn't mention this is the tropical plantation. I mean, and the tropical plantation is just fabulous, and what's been happening to it is amazing. But the mill house was done over about when? Was that 2 years ago now?
About 2.5 years ago.
Is it 2.5 years? And, you know, there was a lot of talk about, okay, it's done over, it's nice. But, you know, what happens is people kind of really want to see if it's going to survive. A lot of times people do things, and some things don't work, some don't. But this is beyond expectations amazing, and everyone still has that wow factor when they walk into that dining room and see it. But we haven't talked about something that I went and experienced back in December, which was the bar. And that is a super happening place with drinks like you can't imagine. These are special drinks created by the who creates these amazing specialty drinks.
Our bartender Dane is the head creative mind behind our bar. However, everybody behind our bar is extremely talented and creative, and all impact our bar menu quite a bit. It is impressive to see all of them back there because they go about our cocktails more of a culinary side instead of just a drink side. And they really put a lot of time and effort into creating these wonderful cocktails.
They're not your usual cocktails. They're cocktails you've never ever thought of or heard of, and combinations you'd never think of.
That's it. We want our guests, just like our food, to experience something that maybe they haven't necessarily experienced before.
Some of the drinks have 5, 6 ingredients, 7 ingredients, right?
Yeah, Dane has a passion for making relationships with farmers. He has a background in environmental studies from college. That's what he was studying, and now it's translated into the bar in an interesting way. He actually utilizes invasive species, things like Java plums, that are, invasive to the island, and he finds ways to incorporate that into the bar program. And he finds ways to use ingredients. It basically dictates the menu. A drink doesn't go on the menu unless it's inspired by and utilizing local Maui ingredients.
And they're great. I mean, there's so many things that are just exciting to even want to try. Plus, there's a nice selection of items you can have if you come to the bar. Now, the bar opens at what time for happy hour? Well, it's not really a happy hour.
Well, the bar's open all day from 11 to 9.
I didn't know it was open all day.
It is all day from 11 to 9.
Oh.
Our happy hour does begin at 3, between 3 and 5.
Oh, okay.
And there's special drinks for happy hour as well as food options.
That's a great time. If you live on Maui, that's a great time to come by to get a drink, because we have the happy hour pricing, but we also offer a Kama Aina discount, 15% off food. So you'll get the 15% off food at the happy hour pricing already, and then the drinks are on happy hour. So.
And it's a nice menu.
It is.
I mean, it's really enough to consider it a dinner, really, what you get. I mean, I know, I'm being a vegetarian. I always have the chickpea panisse. Is it panisse?
Panisse.
Panisse. Oh. And it's available.
It is.
For the happy hour.
And it is phenomenal.
And it is wonderful. And every time I've had other people try it, too, and they just absolutely love it. And you can get things like the hamburger. Usually, right?
Our tacos. Now, of course, our menu does change daily, so some of the items might not be on there every single day. But for the most part, we always have the hamburger, the tacos, and the chickpea panisse on the happy hour, along with some other items like ceviche.
Yes, that's really
Mochiko
good.
chicken bao buns and that kind of thing.
What's that?
So Mochiko chicken style, it's a marinade on the bao. It's made with rice flour, and then we use them in like a steam roll, a steam bun itself. Really nice little sandwich almost like items that are phenomenal. Really good for happy hour.
But the best part is the Korean spiced aioli that's
really?
on it. The sauce.
The gochujang aioli
is so good. The chicken bao buns are delicious.
That sounds very exotic. It really does. It sounds fantastic. and I don't want our time to go by without also mentioning the coffee, which you made a point when this whole idea was envisioned and created to be very, I'd say, extremely venturesome. To try to do all these wonderful things. But part of it was creating your own coffee and roasting your own coffee and having this wonderful coffee available for people in the morning out there. They can stop by and have a lovely little pit stop on the way to work and have really fresh roasted coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. It's coffees, most of them grown on Maui. That's what we specialize in. We also have coffees that are grown on Hawaii, on the Big Island, and some coffees from really high-grade producers in South America, Ethiopia, Yemen, Indonesia.
Really?
So the roasters are always looking for interesting, really high-quality beans, but most of it is Maui coffee, and then it's roasted there on site, and then it's served daily in our coffee cafe, which is open from 8 till 4.
I didn't know it was open that late. I thought it was just in the morning time.
Yeah, 8 till 4 every day. So it's a nice place. And even if you need a little work break from Wailuku or Kahului and take a little drive over and get a coffee. That's
great to know. I thought it was just the morning time. So it's super busy. What do you see as the success? I mean, you've been there for a while. Usually places have high turnover. I mean, I hate to say it. I get to know people and going, oh, my gosh, I wonder if they'll survive. You guys have been super busy. You're there working hard. I saw you over the holidays working on, I think, New Year. It was a Christmas Day, a Christmas Eve.
Yeah, on Christmas Eve, yeah.
What is the passion that's going on there that's making this successful?
So I think what you mentioned earlier ties in with this, that especially in the restaurant industry, everybody's always wondering if something will fail or how long it will last.
It is true.
And I have to say, speaking candidly, on Maui, it's a very small place, so you also watch for those things. Will this impact our community or not? I think that every day, all of us just we don't go there to work thinking like, will this succeed or will this not succeed? We go there every day. How can we carry out the Millhouse mission? How can we make Maui Tropical Plantation a better player in the community? And I think that most of that motivation comes from within ourselves, and all of that credit is really due to the general manager, Francesco Greco. He hires incredible people that are really driven and really want to be part of a sustainable future for Maui, and that's his goal. And so I think that is like, he leads all of us in that, but our hearts are all in the same place. Mm-hmm. And so that's like all we can do.
He seems to give you a lot of freedom
know?
As well. He seems to give you a lot of chance to do what you want to do.
Boy, he's like, he doesn't micromanage, but he sees everything. Uh-huh. And it's been like a real honor to see that guy work. And he always says, because, Kane and I will be, really heavy on like, we have to train the staff. We have to make them really knowledgeable. We have to make sure they're giving great service. We have to make sure the food's perfect. And then he's the guy who reminds all of us, yeah, that's all. We have to do all of that, but you got to have the heart. It has to be empathetic service.
Wow.
It has to be service with aloha. And
Yes.
he's really the guiding force in all of that.
That is one of the special things about dining at the Millhouse. You do feel that the people do care. They want to make sure you're fine. They want to make sure you're totally happy. And a lot of times they know exactly what you've ordered before because you have a very consistent staff. And they go, oh, I remember you had
Good
this
to
before.
hear.
I remember you had that before. Oh, you like the... And I do. I love your Arnold Palmer and the tea that's made from the cane sugar. I'm like, it's the best plantation tea that I've ever had in my life. I don't know what's in that besides the natural cane sugar I think from your own grounds. But it is... I mean, I'm craving it just talking about it. It is so good. I mean, that kind of thing where you have a tea that I can rave about, right? I mean, how often do you go to a restaurant and go, this is the best tea I've ever had in my life, right? I mean, that's something when you can go to a place like that. And I know your staff. I know the people. And I just love the fact that you can go there and really just say, this was an amazing meal. I sent other people there. They said, we spent 2.5 hours at lunch. It's like, we didn't know if we'd have time, but we just couldn't stop ourselves. It was just bad. We spent the whole afternoon there, right? And you have that happen, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Which is really, really special. I do want to make sure we mention, because I had a chance to talk to White Orchid Wedding. What's her name again, the lady in charge of that?
Carol Lee.
Carol Lee from White Orchid Weddings is now working with you. Had a great event that was the candlestick maker, the butcher baker, and the candlestick maker event. Brilliant idea. And I had a chance to talk to her then. But White Orchid does great weddings. So now she's part of your wedding experience. And again, you have this beautiful place, and anyone getting married, my gosh, you know how important the photos are and having a good backdrop. Well,
that's for sure.
You've got that. You've got that at the Tropical Plantation, so I'm sure everyone's going to be super busy. Valentine's Day is crazy off the charts busy for weddings. But, if you're thinking of a wedding coming up in May or June, it's White Orchid does top-notch weddings, so it's a nice marriage, pun intended there, to have White Orchid with the Tropical Plantations. Well, and I heard you're going to be doing that area over and back as well. Is that right? I heard that area might be expanded.
We're definitely working on some goals here in the near future.
About what you're going to be doing?
That, absolutely.
Wow. So it's just part of the whole overall thing. I don't want people to be left out. I think you only have like 15 seats left, right? Hey, Allison, sit here. You only have a few seats left for this Friday's Uncorked and Unplugged event.
So don't miss out.
Don't miss out. The number to call is 270-0333. Is that right? 270-0333. For a 9-course wine pairing with amazing dishes from Fred Shear, music, and an event you'll be talking about with friends you'll meet and know for years to come.
Hopefully, yes.
Thank you so much. And thanks for what you do. I mean, just talking to you, I want to go there right now. I have to stop. I know, really.
We're still open.
I know you're still open.
We'll see you after work.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much.
Thank
Kate.
you.
Have a good one. And don't forget to book for Valentine's Day because they're filling up, folks. 270-0333, right?
That's it.
Got it memorized.